Hey, history students, happy Friday. Thanks for checking out this quick recording. Since we're not going to be able to have class this morning, I wanted to get you a recording over the section you're going to hopefully have checked out this week to highlight the main points. Just a reminder, here is your goal for this week, and hopefully it is Friday, so hopefully you have check marks next to each one of these. Your unit exam, Age of Extremes to World Power, was due. If you haven't done that, I want you to get it completed today. You'll get a 0 on it on Monday if it isn't, and then we're starting a brand new unit. We're going to be on the third unit, Progressivism to Hard Times unit. So you've got one section to read and a quiz to complete. So last unit, this Age of Extremes, we looked at how America had become this big world power, and there had been huge industrial growth, consumerism, but there was also a lot of conflicted values. And so this idea of progressivism emerged, which is what we're going to be looking at this unit. So because of that, because of all the problems, there was overpopulation, there was corruption, remember those political machines, there was unemployment. People wanted to see some change, and that's what progressivism was about. So you will, if you haven't read section 1 yet, you're going to learn about muckrakers and yellow journalism. Sorry about that. That one is going to drive me crazy. So these were journalists that exposed all the problems at this time. One of the most important one was Upton Sinclair, and he really focused on the meatpacking industry. And those who read his book at this time, they never wanted to eat any meat again. It's that bad. If you haven't read it yet, check it out. So they brought to light, these yellow journalists brought to light a lot of the ills and problems of society at this time. In terms of politics, as we talked about, progressivism emerged, which really focused on a lot of changes. They wanted reforms, more government control, and to regulate economics in certain industries. As far as water, transportation, and electricity, they wanted government to be in control of those. There was some really, of course, key players in progressivism. One of them was Governor Robert La Follette, who focused on progressivism reform. And related to that, of course, was a lot of legislation that was passed at this time in Congress. Elkins Act, focused on railroad and shipping. Pure Food and Drug Act. And we talked about those processing food and meat packaging. It really focused on regulating the food industry. Meat Inspection Act of 1906. Hebbard Act of 1906, which wanted to make the Interstate Commerce Commission have more control. Federal Reserve Act created Federal Reserve banks with the power to make loans. Clayton Antitrust Act, very important. It made monopolies illegal. And then the Federal Trade Act, which allowed a commission to look over practices and make sure laws were being followed. So lots of legislation at this time. And then lastly, big changes in women's rights. Seneca Falls, we have Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton start campaigning for women's suffrage and the right to vote. So that's a highlight from section 1. Let me know if you need any help. I will be out of the office Friday morning, but we'll return later in the day. So shoot me a email and let me know how I can help. I look forward to seeing you in class on Tuesday. Thanks for checking out the recording.